Hi folks, welcome back to Stacy Can Can. Today I am making blueberry butter. And this is a byproduct, I guess, of making a blueberry syrup that I have done. And to show you that, I used a juicer. So here's some fresh berries, but I used a juicer to extract a bunch of juice from the blueberries. And this is the leftover pulp, which I'm gonna use to make the blueberry butter. Butters are, fruit butters don't contain actual butter. They just have, but they spread kind of like a butter does. So that's why they call them butters, fruit butters. They're just spreadable fruit, essentially. So that's what I'm making as a byproduct of that. Now, if you don't really want to make juice and you don't have a juicer, etc., you just need to make a puree, and that's not difficult to do. You would need, for the juicing, it called for 12 cups of blueberries, and you'd probably need about that much. You want to add a little bit of water to it, and about a cup of water, and just start to cook it down. And then as it's cooking down, you mush it really well with a potato masher or something to smush it with, and then that's how you would get your puree, which is what I have here. I don't have to work that hard. So that's the ingredients as far as blueberries go. That's what you need. Oh, and while I go over all of this, go ahead and you can follow along down below in the show notes and hit like and subscribe while you're at it, because that does help. So again, you need a puree, about 12 cups, which is about a half of a flat, or these containers, as long as it's full, it normally measures out to about 2 cups of blueberries. So just keep that in mind when you're picking or purchasing, however you get your blueberries. And then you need 3 cups of sugar. You need a lemon that is zested and then juiced as well. And then optional, some people say it's not optional, but it's optional for me, is some cinnamon and a teaspoon of nutmeg and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon ground for both. I'm not gonna add them because I just don't love all that fall flavor with this type of a butter. That's just me. A lot of people do, so if you want to add those spices, go for it. It's you do you on that. If you were going to, as mentioned, if you were going to puree your own, you might, after you puree, it would probably be a good idea to strain some of the juice from it. You can use a jelly strainer to do that, or just know that you're just going to have to cook it a little bit longer before adding the sugar. So just to kind of cook off some of that water, just to get it, or you don't even have to do it. Just know that you're going to have to cook it longer to get it to mound on the spoon like you need it to make it a butter. It's going to be a little bit more like a runny jelly or jam or something like that. So anyway, it won't be buttery. So the tools, we are going to need your funnel, Headspace tool, the lid lifter. We'll be bubbling our what is this called? Ladle. It's late. I've been canning all day. As you can tell, it's dark out, so it is late and I'm a little tight, so this is gonna be fun. You need a zester and a citrus squeezer, or you can squeeze it with your own hands, however you want to do it there. We've got our jars heating up in the canner. I've got a pot for my lids and a stock pot to cook everything in, and also a jar lifter, which is right there. It's a jar lifter. You need a jar lifter as well. Plus a knife to cut the lemon. That'll probably be possibly a few extra things. Oh, lids and rings. Well, lids, rings as well. So with all that, let's go ahead and get started. What's great about this recipe, and in fruit butters in general, is that you just kind of dump everything into the pot. There's not a ton of ingredients, and it's pretty simple to put together. So in case you're wondering too, so that's the blueberry puree, and then here's the 3 cups of sugar. Ouch. I know that's, for me, it's a little hard to watch, but kind of sort of a nice thing here is you can just do it all in the pot, just sort of dump it in. I have washed this, in case I didn't mention it, that was 3 cups of sugar. already washed this lemon very well. I rinsed it with, poured some hot water over it and wiped it down with a paper towel just to get any dirt or, it's not an organic lemon. Those didn't look so hot, so I just got a regular conventional lemon, and I like to put some hot water over it and wipe it down with a clean paper towel to get any wax or any, you know, pesticide or whatever gunk that could be on it. Somebody could literally sneeze on the lemon at the grocery store, so I am always a big proponent of washing your fruit down as best as possible. And then I'm just zesting this whole thing over the top of the pot here and just adding it all in. So not a lot of dishes, pretty simple to do. I got the heat up to high, and we're just gonna stir all of this together until it comes to a boil. Got the butter all done. And to test it, you can just pile it up on a spoon, or you can put a little bit on a chilled plate, a cold plate, and see if it separates. And if it doesn't separate, it's ready to go. But boy howdy is this good. Bubble. Just want to go around the edges and down in the middle, filling it to a 1/4 inch headspace out there, and using the lid water to clean the rim, make sure we don't have any gunk on it. Add your lid, and your ring or your band. Fingertip tight. Remember, it's a little hot potato. And then up and over and into the canner it goes. And repeat. I got all the jars in the canner, so I set the heat up to high, and when it comes to a rolling boil, I'll set the timer for my altitude. Got a rolling boil going, so I've set the timer for 10 minutes for my altitude. For more altitude information in your area, you can just check over here on the side or down below in the show notes. The timer has gone off for my altitude, so I'm going to cut the heat, and I'm going to very carefully lift the lid off of the canner. Make sure to open the lid away from your face. Look at all that steam, it will burn you. And I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes to let the food in the jars settle before removing them from the canner. That just helps with the sealing process, making sure that there isn't any food in between the lid and the rim of the jar. 5-minute timer has gone off, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the jars from the canner. It is very dark and rich. And this is how we make blueberry butter. It is delicious. Had one that just sealed. It is delicious. Very good. Excellent on toast. Eat it with a spoon. Make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you want. It's just fantastic. You could also put it in a marinade too. It would give marinade a little bit of thick creaminess. Ooh, you could do it as a cake filler too. Ooh, that would be really good. It would be a fantastic cake filler. So that's how we do it. The recipe is down below, and while you're in the show notes, and while you're down there, please hit like and subscribe because that does help. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, concerns, by all means, please reach out to me. I'm on Facebook at Stacy Can. You can at me on Instagram and TikTok at Stacy Can. My website is www.stacycancan.com. My email is info@stacycancan.com, and I'm also on LinkedIn at Stacy Can. Thanks so much for joining me today, and until next time, happy canning.